All right, I think I am live. Let's do this. All right, what's going on, my lovely, lovely people? Today is a special day, and
All
honestly,
right, I
I
think I
wasn't
am
going
live.
to
Let's do this.
to stream
All
this.
right, what's
But
going on, my lovely, lovely
okay,
people?
why do I hear
Today is a
myself?
special day.
Oh, there we go. But anyway, yeah, I originally was not going to go through with the stream because I posted like a schedule of like, okay, I'm going to do a birthday stream today, but I kind of canceled it because I thought, okay, I didn't want to do it. But at the last minute, I was like, okay, why not? Fuck it, it's my birthday. Um, I have nothing better else to do today, but I guess work later. So why not celebrate this glorious day with my fellow subscribers and possibly non-subscribers? But yeah, we're here. Welcome to my stream for those who are watching or who will be watching this later. Yeah, today's my birthday. I don't know if I'm gonna tell you my age right now. Um, I'll let you guess on that, but we'll get on that later. But yeah, today is a great day. Believe it or not, it's been a year since my first 100 subscribers. I actually got my first 100 subscribers on March the 5th, 2021. And that was about maybe, let me see, I started back in September of 2020. So October, November, December, January, February, about close to 6 months to get my first 100. And then from there, it kind of got a little bit easier. I'm here at what am I? 579, 579 subscribers. So yeah, I think I'm doing good. I think what I've gotten from last year to now is definitely better. I it's like every it's like every couple of months or so. It's like I'm always having different ideas on what I want to do with the channel and whatnot. And it's funny because how the channel started is completely, I would say completely different. Yeah, I guess it's kind of different than how it is now. Because if anyone watched my last stream, which was in Christmas, I said that I was gonna do a whole bunch of things like incorporate more trips into the channel and whatnot. But after that stream and after doing some more research, just looking at my analytics, I looked at, okay, there are certain things that on my channel that are just doing better than others. Like my POVs are doing well. Anytime I talk about coaster news, that does very well. Um, Topical videos, it depends on the topic. But it looks like my worst performing videos for now are the vlogs. And I thought to myself, I'm not doing too well on the vlogs compared to the other videos. I do get subscribers from them, but they're not really the best performing. So I thought, okay, maybe if I just, I wouldn't say cut off vlogs completely, but just push it to the side and let my other content thrive, I guess, so to speak. And it's around, I say February, I haven't really been putting much like main content, but mostly because of I guess things going on in my actual life that I'm trying to, I guess, improve on. First of all, my diet and my exercise. Um, my December trip in Busch Gardens was definitely a wake up call. It was very weird to not to be able to, I would say not to be able to, but barely fit on Cobra's Curse. Because I remember the last time I rode it was back in 2017. Had no issues riding it, and back then I was like maybe 230 something. But I'm like now what 250, almost 260 pounds. So yeah, definitely gotta cut back on certain things. And with the whole Iron Gwazi thing, everyone's doing Iron Gwazi. Like I could have taken a ride. I could have used my platinum pass and went to Iron Gwazi, but I decided to not do any type of trips on February, mostly because I wanted to, work on myself a little bit, lose some weight, change my diet, exercise, get to a point where I can start riding rides comfortably again because it sucks that you can barely fit on rides like Montu and the Hulk because of the over the shoulder restraints. And as you get bigger, I realize how big of a issue they are. So I kind of feel for my bigger folks out there because yeah, it's rough that they have like certain rides, just for like specific sizes. But there was one ride when I went to Islands of Adventure that I had no issue riding, and that was Velocicoaster. And because of the whole restraint system, yeah, I have to say they may have the best restraint systems I ever felt. Maybe even a little better than the clamshells restraint that B&M has on their hypercoasters. Because the over the shoulder is like it's very comfortable and doesn't restrict movement in any way. Hold on, I got a text. Hey, I just got a birthday wish from a friend. Happy birthday. Hold on, let me text him right back. It's always good when someone gives you a call on your birthday. And my mother had wished me a happy birthday earlier before the live stream, so you know, I get that from her. I'm having a good day. So, but back to what I was saying. I was saying about the Velocicoaster restraints. Yeah, they're pretty good restraints. Um, I honestly don't have anything like planned as far as like things to say on this live stream. This is primarily just freestyle. I'm just doing it just because I just feel like doing it. Just to say hello to my peoples, what's going on. Because I did say I was going to do a live stream sometime in the March time. So it's like, why not do it on the day of my birth? But let's see. Let's think about things that we can talk about. I guess regarding the channel, I'm just focusing on things that work. Like I said, the POVs, coastal comparison POVs, they seem to do very well. I've been doing a lot of shorts. Shorts has been surprisingly good for the channel, and it's interesting because I see shorts like its own like audience. Like you have your YouTube video audience, and then you have your YouTube short audience. And of course, there's some overlap, but there's definitely two different audiences. So it's like anytime I'll post like a video on like YouTube, just a regular video, I'll make a shorts of it or a short version of it because why not double dip into both audiences? And that has been doing well for me, and I think I'm going to continue doing that. As far as what I'm going to do in March, I think March is going to be pretty busy because not only I have to ride Iron Gwazi and Icebreaker, there is the Dade County Fair is coming back again because they came back in the fall of 2021, but they only did that because they were supposedly do it usually in March, but they decided to move it to a later date. And I think this is the 50th anniversary they're having. I guess that's why they did it so they can coincide with this year. I guess for the anniversary or whatever. But um, yeah, they're going to be opening again March 17th. And I think I'm gonna try to be there on opening day because my first concern was, okay, are they going to have the same rides that they had in the November when they came in November, which was no, it was just what 3 4 months ago. But it's good to know they're going to have a couple of new rides based off their website. So I figured, yeah, it'll be worth going there on top of taking this little trip to the Central Florida. I definitely plan on doing that maybe near the end, closer to the end of March, because I'm trying to see if I can exercise my butt off this week. Well, I started exercising last week, so I did it this week, and then um this week, and then next week I'm gonna try to see if I can lose at the very least 10 pounds. If I can do that, then I'll definitely take that trip. Definitely ride Iron Gwazi, ride Icebreaker, and go to the Icon Park in Orlando because they got a bunch of stuff I want to ride too. Like they have the Star Flyer, the 400-foot Star Flyer. Even though I'm deathly afraid, I won't say deathly afraid of heights, but I can handle heights to a certain height. Like any 100-foot coasters, I'm fine. 200 feet coasters, I get a little. It depends on the restraint. But going up 400 feet, yeah, on that little chain with the little bar, yeah, that's terrifying. And on top of that, they have a new drop tower and a slingshot, which is crazy. Which is the interesting thing is I'm not scared of the slingshot because I don't mind going up. Like I don't mind getting shot up. Like the Doctor Doom thing at Islands of Adventure, I like that ride. It's I like it. I don't have issues with that. It's just being dropped down, feeling the forces in your stomach. I don't like. Like Secret, I can handle Secret. I like Secret because it's a roller coaster, but that drop still gets me every time, man. And that's part of why I don't ride Falcon's Fury anymore. I rode it once in 2017. That was it. No more. I did not like it. But if I'm gonna ride this or ride the rides at this Icon Park, then I kind of have to. My next visit at Busch Gardens, I'm gonna have to ride Falcon's Fury just to get the hang of being that high up in the air. I mean, why not? Why not face your fears? Because where I live, there's a lot of high rises, and sometimes when I visit them, it just they're a little too high. Like when I'm on the inside, it's fine, but when I'm on the outside, and I'm like 40 feet up in the air, not 40 feet, 40 floors up in the air, yeah, it's not nice. I'm not a big fan of that, not at all. Um, as far as let me see what else I can talk about. I guess I can talk about goals and stuff. What I would love to do this year. Because right now I live in South Florida and I would love to make that move to Central Florida. I mean, because that's where all the stuff is at. That's where all the parks are at, and I can start covering more things that's going on in that particular area because I mean that's where it's popping. That's where I would prefer to be in the first place. And there's a couple of parks that I haven't really visited yet. Like there's Legoland I haven't visited. I haven't visited I haven't visited Disney World since 1999. Okay, so I have a lot of catching up to do there. But the problem with the Disney parks is because I've been keeping up with the prices and they're just so freaking high right now. I mean, they're always been high. Like Universal is not cheap either, but I think they're at a better deal than going to Disney right now. And I could definitely say that going to Alice Adventure back in December, it was definitely worth it. It was a great day. And it's like ever since they built the Harry Potter area, it's like Universal just quality. I wouldn't say their quality came up, but their immersion and how they handle things is just much better than Disney. It just is. Like with in Harry Potter, you can dress up as like a as a student, have a interactive wand, do things with the wand and stuff. It's very immersive. They let the adults, act like I won't say act like kids, but just have fun. I'm not saying you can't do that in Disney, but it seems like at least from the videos I've seen, Disney just been so overcrowded. And I know the pandemic didn't really help much, but when people started going back, I mean, when people started vacationing again, they just stormed Disney. So maybe okay, so I did decide that I want to go like once they built the two new coasters because I know they got the Tron coaster and they got the Guardians of the Galaxy coaster. It's like once they release those, then I'll consider going, which probably won't be in the next year or two. How long they been trying to build Tron now? It's been so long. But yeah, those are Disney park I need to look at, and then there's Legoland, and I'm kind of mad at myself that I did not go to Cypress Gardens when it was called Cypress Gardens because I said I wanted to go there, and I did have the means to go there, but I didn't really have the motivation because it really wasn't that much stuff there. But I didn't think it was gonna close out again because I remember the last time I heard about Cypress Gardens was when they brought the Starliner from a Pensacola park to them, and that was going to be like their, I guess I wouldn't say their saving grace, but their revitalization because they were trying to stay relevant before Legoland bought them out. And I didn't even know Legoland bought them out because I just didn't hear about them at all. But when I realized that Legoland bought them out, I was like, damn, I missed out. But I was kind of relieved to know that they still kind of reserved a little area for the Cypress Gardens still in Legoland. So when I do go to Legoland, I do want to visit that part. I guess that's the one part I'm very interested in watching visiting, just because I missed out on the Cypress Gardens when they were called Cypress Gardens. And then you have the Peppa Pig Park, and they have that one coaster. Will I be going to Pepper Pig Park just to ride that one coaster? A kiddie coaster, a kiddie launch coaster at that. Do I really want to do that? I would have to bring somebody with me so it doesn't look like so instead of having this one weird adult, it'll be like two weird adults. I rather do it I rather be weird with somebody else than by myself, definitely. But those parks I gotta look forward to, and then man, I haven't been to Universal Studios in a long ass time. Like every time I go to a Universal Park, it's always Islands of Adventure. I have no interest in Volcano Bay. I don't care about water parks that much. Um, the last water park I did go to was it Wet and Wild? What's it called? Wet and Wild? Yeah, I think it was that before they tore it down. And I had a great time there. I don't know why they tore it down though. It was nice, but now you got Volcano Bay, so you can go there, I guess. Maybe if I get like a all inclusive pass, I'll try it out for one time, just for the heck of it. But I'm not really much of a water park guy. I did go to Adventure Island a long time ago, like back in middle school, but that was pretty much it. I've never been to Aquatica. I've never been to any of the Disney parks, Blizzard Beach, and I can't remember the other one off the top of my head right now, but I know they got two water parks. So I mean, hey, possible places to visit, possible content for my channel. Who knows? Who knows? And then I think that's pretty much it. And then there's a whole bunch of like other cool things that you can do in Orlando and Kissimmee that I want to cover and stuff. And I mean, that's pretty much the direction I want to go. One of my biggest goals, and I guess it's more of who you know than anything, but I would love to like be part of a media list, like for maybe Busch Gardens, Tampa, or for SeaWorld Orlando. Like when they release a coaster or do whatever event, they have like a list of media people they send invites to. I would love to do that. I tried to contact SeaWorld and Busch Gardens many times, but they just don't answer their emails. I guess I just need to stay persistent or find someone in the department that I can probably talk to and see if I can get my way into like a media pass or whatever. But we'll see, we'll see. And then another thing that an old friend of mine tried to encourage me to do it like a long time ago was to join ACE, which is American Coaster Enthusiasts. I've never joined the club before, but I didn't know that they had access to Icebreaker Media Pass Day and Iron Gwazi Media Pass Day, mostly as fillers for the media people. And outside of that, they also just have like this cool events that they host and whatnot. And I hear a lot of these from like different enthusiasts and stuff, but I've never really considered joining them. Maybe I should join them. You know, be a part of some cool events that the coaster community does. But then again, I'm just like I'm always just been, but I've always been like a lone wolf type of guy, So who knows? I just like to just do me. Like if I were to do it, if I were to go to somewhere, it would be of my validity, like of my. I can't think of the word right now. Of my I'll just say validity right now. But I think that's the word I'm looking for. But we shall see. We shall see. I do like the direction the channel is going right now, and I'm happy that it's growing. I'm happy with my 500 79 subscribers for now. That can go up, that can go down. It doesn't really matter. As long as I continue doing what continue doing what I'm doing, everything will be all good. And I appreciate everyone that, follows me here or follows me on my other social media. And I guess that's one thing I can talk about my other social media platforms. Now I have three other platforms. I have a Facebook page, I have an Instagram page, and I have a TikTok page. On my Facebook, it's mostly more or less the same. Um, Sometimes I post like pictures or whatever, post extra stuff. But if you want to follow, you can also, if you want to follow me there, you can. I have my links in the description for my other social media. Instagram, I would say that's my slowest one because most people grow pretty quick on Instagram, but I can't say I've been super active on there to justify any quick growth or anything like that. So that's that. However, TikTok, believe it or not, that's my best social media for out of everybody, including YouTube. On TikTok, I got around 1,400 something followers, and I get pretty decent views. So I'm doing pretty good there. And if you want to see my stuff on TikTok, again, follow my links in the description. I have those links on every video. So if you want to follow me on a different social media, you want to support the Coasters and Travel brand, I would appreciate that. Thank you very much. And let me see what else I can talk about. I guess I can talk about who I guess my inspiration for doing Coasters and Travels, why I was inspired to do this in the first place. Who were the people that got me to want to do Coasters and Travels? Well, there are two channels that I kind of want to give a shout out to. Um, the very first channel I want to talk about is a channel called Freeway Gym. And Freeway Gym is a channel that does you can say ride-alongs. It's like he'll have his camera on the dashboard and he'll be on the highway. He's like a highway enthusiast. He'll travel from point A to point B, and we see it through his point of view. So it's kind of like a POV. It's like a coaster POV, but for driving. And I was very I was very engrossed in his videos because I like to travel. I love road trips and stuff like that. So watching his videos kind of made me feel like I was kind of part of that journey. It was very immersive, and then his music selection kind of just sealed the deal. Like he had very good musical selections. Lots of fun facts and stuff about the certain highway he's in. I was very intrigued and inspired by his videos. To one day I wanted to do it. Wanted to do something similar, but a little bit more. And then the other channel I want to give a shout out to is called Traveling Robert. He's based in South Florida, just like me. And the way he does his channels, he travels to different places. He'll take trips and do like a cross country trip in his RV. And he does like episodic videos, and they're very very high quality. It almost feels like he has like a team producing his videos, but it's just him. And the way he does things, I really like because he does his own music. And, as a musician myself, I really, really like that he can do that. He has his own freaking soundtrack. Like you can purchase his soundtrack on his website. You know, that's pretty cool. And I like the style because he shows a bit of what Freeway Jim does, because Freeway Jim does the whole ride along. Sometimes Traveling Robert will do a ride along. He'll show like a little bit of where we're going, and he'll show like scenery along the way. And I told myself, this is what I want my channel to be like, something similar to this. Where I take trips, I show things. Sometimes it's roller coasters, sometimes it's not, and that's what I wanted. That's why Coasters and Travels was kind of how it kind of started. Even though it didn't start as Coasters and Travels, it started as um, J Coasters. I think it was called J Coasters. And then I because I started J Coasters back in 2019, and then 2020 I revitalized the channel to Coasters and Travels, and I was like, okay, I want my channel to be like somewhat similar in between of Traveling Robert and Freeway Jim. And it started like that because my first video I did, I guess, coming back was the Hershey Park trip. Hershey, or the Pennsylvania trip. I did Hershey Park and I did Dorney Park, and I also did Reading, and I did Philadelphia. Trying to do coaster and non-coaster content, and it was good until you know I didn't really do anything else for the rest of the year, and I had to use some type of content, so I'd use my back catalog of POVs that I've been saving up since 2015, and in a sense that kind of changed the channel to what I originally wanted it to be, because I was showing those POVs from October of 2020 all the way to like March of 2021. So I guess the YouTube algorithm saw me as more of like a POV based channel. And then when I heard about when Cheetah at Wild Adventures was getting closed, I wanted to talk about it. And that was kind of like the beginning of like the whole coaster news. And then when RMC started talking about their new RMC, their new coaster, not RMC, when Fun Spot started talking about their new RMC coaster, you know, any videos about that just blew up. And I realized, okay, excuse me, I realized, okay, yeah, so this is going to be, I guess this is going to be the direction of my channel. And I continue doing it and my channel continuing to grow. So I guess that's where we are right now. I mean, at the same time, I don't mind going with the flow, you know. It doesn't matter to me because I still enjoy doing the content that I do. And hopefully I have a very busy 2022 when it comes to taking different trips, because I do want to do an Atlanta trip. I have to go to Atlanta. At least the trip I have in my head, I want to go to Fun Spot Atlanta. I want to go to Six Flags Over Georgia. I want to go to Dollywood, and I want to go to Kentucky Kingdom. And I want to call it the RMC trip, mainly because all of those parks have an RMC that I've never ridden. I've been to Six Flags Over Georgia, but I've been there before they built Twisted Cyclone. I've been to Dollywood, but it was before they built um, Lightning Rod. Never been to Kentucky Kingdom, and I've never been to Fun Spot Atlanta. So those are two new places that I will be, I guess, adding to my list of parks I've been to. So hopefully I will make that happen. And I said that I wanted to go to Cedar Point in 2022, but the fact that Top Thrill Dragster won't be open, I don't know. I may want to do like I call it a DMV trip, which is Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, Kings Dominion, and Six Flags America. I may want to do something like that because I've never been to any of those parks, and they got a bunch of rides that I want to ride. I've heard Six Flags America is getting better as far as their service and stuff like that. But I mean, I've never been regardless. I mean, I've never been anyway, so I just hope if I do go there that I have a pleasant visit. And that goes the same for Williamsburg and for Kings Dominion. I just hope I have a pleasant day. I know that Tumbili is opening in Kings Dominion, and I know a lot of people just like, ugh, why they had to get this model, because it's a smaller model than the regular model. But you have to believe in Kings Dominion. If they're gonna do that, then that means they have something bigger. It's similar to what Busch Gardens Tampa did with Tigress. You had Tigress, and then you had supposedly had Iron Gwazi in 2020, but we all know what happened. But yeah, that makes me wonder that's a good question. What does King Dominion really need right now? Like, what would be a good major coaster for them? Because they got a Giga, they got a what you call it, a RMC, they got a Florida's coaster, And I'm pretty sure they got some other coasters I just can't think of right now. Because those are only like major coasters I know. I've never been to Kings Dominion, so I can't really think the rest of them off the top of my head. What, a hyper? I mean, both parks have a hyper, unless they make like such make a different type of hyper. I don't know if they have a launch coaster. I think they have that Italian job coaster. I can't remember stunt backlot coaster. I think they have, but a multi-launch coaster wouldn't be out of the ordinary. I don't think they could use that. Maybe an Intamin one or a Mack Rides one. But I really haven't seen much Mack Rides in in the United States. So as far as like major launch coasters in the United States, and they're mostly this through other parts of the world. But yeah, let me see what else. What else? What else? Hmm. I think that's pretty much. Let me see. How long I've been doing this? It hasn't been that long. Only been a half an hour. But oh, I know what I can do. I can talk about other YouTubers that I like to watch because there's there's a couple that I used to watch a lot more before I started taking YouTube more seriously. There's one particular, I know everyone knows Airtime Thrills, and I used to be a big fan before I became a YouTuber, but I don't know. It's like when I started taking it more seriously, I started not liking his videos. Or maybe because I felt like he was competition now. I don't know. It was something like it was just stupid. Like at the beginning, that I was like everybody's competition. But I realized it doesn't have to be like that. Like one person can be subscribed to like as many people as they want. So it's like, why am I even even acting like that? But this was like early in my YouTube career or life or whatever. It was like before I even had 50 subscribers. I was just like, up, he's my enemy. Up, he's my enemy. I don't want to fuck with them anymore because I'm a YouTuber now. But oh, I know exactly what I can do. I can talk about all the different YouTubers that I watch. Like, all right, so you have the roller coaster niche, you know. It's a very it's a very how can I say? I wouldn't say a small niche. This is a pretty big niche, but there's a lot of people that do YouTube or do roller coaster content differently. You know, you have your POV people, you have your people that like to talk about things, you have your vloggers, you have your news people, you have a people that does a bit that do a mix of everything. And I have this particular add-on on YouTube called, let me see what it's called. I forgot. It's called PocketTube, where you can like manage your subscribers and put them in different categories. So that's pretty much what I did here. I have like variety, topical, POV, vlogs, coaster news, and even some travel channels because my coasters and travels. So we're gonna go to each category, and I'm gonna talk about certain people, big and small, because I watch different YouTubers from like 1 million subscribers down to like 30, 40, whatever. So as far as topical channels, of course, Airtime Thrills is like I would say he's the top because he talks about very interesting things. He talks about very interesting things. Actually, as a matter of fact, let's see if we can watch a video together. So his last video was the Superman versus Superman versus Superman versus Superman. This one is because I remember he did a Goliath versus Goliath versus Goliath video. That was pretty funny. So I say let's do it. Let's watch a Airtime Thrill video right now. Let's switch into my to a different overlay. Let me see. Can I? Okay. Yeah, let's do it. We're gonna switch to a different overlay and we're gonna watch this video together.
And I've been working on it for about a week. So now I'm gonna show you how I use Grammarly to edit.
All right, get rid of this ad.
Superman. If you use this name for a coaster, it better be good. Can you imagine a kid's coaster being named Superman?
Hold on. Okay, I just got to make sure that we're good here. Let me Okay, we're good to go.
Well, wow. Okay. Anyway, Superman is probably the most powerful superhero, and please don't fact check me on that. These are all made up characters and you can prove nothing. The first coaster named Superman opened as the tallest and fastest in the world, so that set the bar. For the most part, the Superman coasters that have came after rose at the challenge, and we ended up with a bunch of them over the last 25 years. But which Superman is the best Superman? There's only one way to find out. This is Superman versus Superman versus Superman versus... Oh no, it's happening again.
Crazy enough, I've only been on 2 Superman. Six Flags Over Georgia and Six Flags Great Adventure. Only 2 Supermans I've been on.
Before we take all the world's Supermen and stack them up, if you can drop this video a like, I'd appreciate it. It really helps out the channel.
Screen.
Over the years, there were 3 coasters that were unworthy of the Superman name. It's a name they once donned, but it's been taken away because, well, Six Flags and Warner Brothers have lawyers, and they aren't afraid to use them. The best one of this bunch is Ride of Steel, an Intamin mega coaster at Six Flags Darien Lake. The Ride of Steel name is still an obvious nod to Superman, and this used to be called Superman Ride of Steel, and that refers to Superman being the Man of Steel. It's like when you're watching TV and the bad word gets beeped out. Who's that for? Everyone knows what they said. We can fill in the blanks. Six Flags sold this park in 2007, and the Superman name got dropped. Ever since 2018, they operate this park once again. Despite this, there's still no Superman name on the ride. Maybe that's because they don't own the park. Maybe it's because they don't want to spend the money to rebrand. But regardless, this 208-foot Intamin mega coaster deserves a name, but it never got it back. Express Platform 13 at Wallaby Holland has a similar story. This opened as Superman the Ride at Six Flags Holland, a Vekoma launch looper, pretty much an outdoor version of Rock and Roller Coaster. This is a compact spaghetti-style coaster, 0 to 56 miles per hour in 2.8 seconds, and the only reason it had to change names was Six Flags jumping ship again. They bolted out of Europe in 2004, taking the Superman name with them. One last sad one, Possessed at Dorney Park. This started its life at Six Flags Ohio in 2000. It was called Superman Ultimate Escape. Six Flags wasn't there very long.
A park I've never been
they did
to,
their damage
unfortunately.
and sold it to Cedar Fair, and they finished the park off once and for all. They renamed it to Steel Venom, then shipped it to Dorney Park in 2000.
Hold on, I just wonder something. Let me check something on my OBS. Making sure we can hear everything. Okay, we're good to go. Yeah, I just had to check something. My bad. Moving on.
2007. This is your classic Intamin impulse, one of many popping up around the turn of the century. Number 12, Superman Eggy at La Ronde.
Eggy.
This one makes no sense. This little Vekoma corkscrew from 1981 named Superman? Superman Eggy? This ride doesn't do the Superman name justice at all. It was also green, then orange, not even the classic blue and red of Superman. No wonder this got the axe in 2019. It didn't look very good Wait, what? It's not Superman Eggy, it's Supermanagi? Okay, well, that makes sense. Wait, what does Menage mean? Ride? This is called Super Ride? That might even be worse than Superman Eggy.
Menage means
Number 11,
ride.
Superman Krypton Coaster at
Makes
Six
sense.
Flags Mexico. Mexico be like, yo dog, I heard you like coasters named Superman, so I put Superman on your Superman. They got 2 coasters named Superman, and this one is tiny. It opened in 1993 as Roller Skater. Then, at some point around 2012, it changed its name to Roller.
Drop the
Skater.
just
Roller.
it's cleaner.
And then in 2019, it took on the name Superman Krypton Coaster. As far as kids' rides go, this isn't bad. You see these everywhere, like Magic Mountain. They're about 28 feet tall and max out around 22 miles per hour. Bigger than a little kid's coaster,
Did they
but
change
smaller
the
than a
car?
family coaster. Number 10,
Look like they
Superman
changed the
Coaster
car.
at Jawa Timur Park. I bet you didn't have Indonesia in your Superman
The
pool.
fuck?
I also bet you didn't have a looping Pinfari Cyclone in your pool. But if you did, move to the front of the class. You are a better coaster enthusiast than I am. I didn't know this existed.
Oh, wow.
If you want to ride this model without going halfway around the world,
That looks
go
dangerous.
to Keensburg in New Jersey. It doesn't seem like this is themed to Superman at all. The sign says it's called Super Loop Coaster, but the park calls it Superman, so who knows? Regardless, this is a little janky to be named after the Man of Steel.
Looks very janky.
Mommy, a superhero! Wow, Stevie, you want to say hi?
Number 9. Superman Escape from Krypton at Six Flags Magic Mountain. This was rethemed in 2011 when the tower was painted and the cars got turned backward, but it's always had the Superman name. This was the original Superman coaster, 100 miles per hour, a 415-foot tower. The car goes like halfway up sometimes, and that's fine. The best part was the little Superman figure at the top, staring down at you, judging you. Dude, did you just wait an hour for this ride? This is like a 20-second ride, man. It doesn't even have any turns. It just goes flat and straight up. Six Flags wanted to break that 100-mile-per-hour barrier. Intamin said, I got you, but one question. Does it have to be good, reliable, or open the year you want it to? Six Flags says, of course not. So Intamin builds this. Forward, backward. Either way, I think the ride's kinda disappointing. I used to like this more, as recently as a couple years ago, but I'm just not feeling it. I really wouldn't want to wait more than 10 minutes for it. Number 8. Superman Ultimate Flight at Six
Pretty much
Flags
a
Over
flat
Georgia,
ride.
Great Adventure, and Great America. Of all these 3 clones, the one at Over Georgia is the best. It was the original. It was built for that
Yep,
plot of land,
that's the one
and
I
the
went
other
on.
2 were put in the parking lot. These were among the first flying coasters from B&M, and I gotta say, using the Superman name for a flying coaster is perfect. Superman flies. He doesn't run 100 miles per hour and jump straight up into the air. He flies, and you can just stick your
I
hands out and
mean,
pretend you're
he
Superman.
technically could.
These aren't as big or complex as other flyers, but it's impossible not to enjoy. It's really too bad this is only number 8. I think everything else on this list is really strong. Number 7. Superman Ultimate Flight at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. This was the first ever premiere ride Skyrocket 2, and it seemed like this compact launch coaster was the perfect option for Six Flags parks. Before the S&S Free Spin, there was the Skyrocket 2, but where the Free Spin got littered everywhere, Six Flags only bought this one Skyrocket 2. Why? I have no idea.
They only bought-
It seems very popular.
Wait a minute. Six Flags only have one Skyrocket too? Really?
It's got bad capacity, but for smaller parks, who cares? This has tons of negative and lateral Gs, a really good multi-pass launch, that hang time roll, a twisted vertical drop, all with just a lap bar. This is a really solid ride, and the Superman name fits it really well. 10 years, no more Skyrocket 2s. What gives, Six Flags? Frontier City has
For
room
real.
for this somewhere. Make it happen. Number 6. Superman
like
Escape
Six- I
at
like
Warner Brothers
Skyrocket
Movie
2s.
World. This is a well-themed intimate accelerator. Before the launch, you're in a subway station that's falling apart. Superman says he's gonna save you. Then you hit that hydraulic launch, going from 0 to 62 in 2 seconds, up and over a 131-foot top hat. You also got that Superman figure pushing the train from the back, a really cool touch. After the launch, you got hills and turns, no inversions, but still looks like a really unique ride experience, even if it's not breaking height and speed records. Number 5. Superman La Atracción de Acero at Parque Warner Madrid. Look, I'm sorry my Spanish is no good,
Yeah, that was
but this translates
horrible.
to Superman Ride of Steel, so let's just call it that before I embarrass myself anymore. This is a B&M floorless, and it's a monster. 164 feet tall, over 3,600 feet of track, 7 inversions. Yeah, it's all your typical ones, but it's a B&M floorless. You get what you get. You also get a straight drop, and with that pre-drop, these can feel like a B&M hyper drop. I don't know if this one gives any airtime. This is in Spain, and I've never left North America. I think that's pretty well documented at this point, so someday. I would really like to ride this. It looks like a top tier floorless. Number 4. Superman Ride of Steel at Six Flags America. Its clone over at Darien Lake had to drop the name, but this one is still proudly named Superman. Now, I gotta ask Six Flags, when you were selling off all these parks, why did you choose to dump Darien Lake but keep Six Flags America? This park would be better off under a new owner. No matter how dirty the chain has done this park over the last 20 years, you can't take away this intimate mega coaster. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. For every good element, it's got a weird one. It still has good T-bars, but they box you in with metal bars on the side. So if you're like me and you stuff your camera, phone, keys, spare camera batteries, phone charger, battery pack, bags of chips, bologna sandwiches, soda cans, season passes to every park in America, napkins, park maps, binoculars, flash pass, and other things I'd rather not mention in your pockets. These bars really suck. Still, it's the star of the park and a really
That's
fun
why they're
ride,
called
even if it's not
lockers.
elite. Number 3. Superman Krypton Coaster at Six Flags Fiesta, Texas. Sometimes I think coaster manufacturers like a challenge. I think they appreciate a flat plot of land, but every now and then, the park asks you to play with the quarry wall, and you can't pass that up. In 2000, Superman Krypton Coaster opened and really turned heads. 168 feet tall, diving off a cliff. Then you get to say what up to Superman. And then you got this element that's only there to show off. Like, yeah, we know there's a cliff here, and we aren't afraid to use it. From there, well, it stops using the wall, but it still serves as a cool backdrop. Sometimes you go to a park and just skip their flawless coaster. Magic Mountain, Cedar Point, even Great Adventure. But at Fiesta, Texas, it's a must ride. Number 2.
Good to know.
Superman El Último Escape at Six Flags Mexico. There I go with Spanish again. If it wasn't obvious enough, this translates to Superman Ultimate Escape, and this gets absolute rave reviews. It's a Morgan Hyper. If you're from the States, you know Morgan Hypers are kinda trash. Mamba, Steel Force, Wild Thing. I'm sorry, but you're at low tier Cedar Fair parks for a reason.
I did not like my ride on Steel Force. I don't know if it was because of they wasn't stacking the whole train or what, but it wasn't fun. I mean, it was okay. It was all right. My issue was at the finale. Those fucking airtime hills were painful. There wasn't like, because I'm used to sustain like floater at the very least. Them things were giving me like painful floater. It was not fun.
You're the ones kind of bringing them down. Really awkward. This looks the same as those, but apparently it's unbelievable. All the cool coaster kids that go down to Mexico City, they won't shut up about how amazing Superman is. We get it. You found a good Morgan. Don't rub it in. At least we have Phantom's Revenge. This is Six Flags Mexico's other Superman coaster. I guess they did so well with this one, they just wanted to keep the Superman party going. 205-foot drop, 5,577 feet of track, almost 75 miles per hour. Now I really want to ride it, but I don't really want to go to Mexico City. These are life's dilemmas. Number 1. Superman the Ride at Six Flags New England. There was only one pick for the top spot, and it's this masterpiece. No matter how hard Intamin, Six Flags, and the state of Massachusetts try to ruin this ride, they can't. Those U-brick lap bars are bad. Not the worst ever, but still bad. Their very existence does kinda make me mad. I know there was an accident back in 2004, and that prompted the change away from the T-bars, but why does it have to be these? Okay, enough complaining. This is number 1. Let's heap on the praise. Best layout ever. There, I said it. A perfect mix of airtime, speed, and twister track. 5,400 feet of track. A 221-foot drop into a tunnel. You also got those Superman triangle things, as well as the famous dive into the tunnel at the end. If you start back and scoot forward, you can get some of that great airtime even with the U-bricks. This has gone through 2 different rethemes, from Superman Ride of Steel to Bizarro, which is like Purple Superman, back to Superman the Ride. That's a really stupid name, but at least it's different. Come to New England, ride Wicked Cyclone and Superman over and over, and you'll have a good time. Alas, I am out of Superman, so it's time to go. Let me know which Superman is your favorite Superman, which Superman you haven't ridden yet you want to get on the most, and any other Superman thoughts you have. Sound off in the comments below. Before you go, don't forget to drop a like, and if you're new here, give me a sub. Also, check out my links below for my Discord server, and my second channel where I post copyright-free off-road footage, and my baseball channel if you happen to love baseball like I do. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.
Alright. That wasn't a bad video. It wasn't bad at all. Oh man. But as far as topical videos, that's definitely one of the guys that I like watching as far as like their opinion and whatnot. Let me see if I can find somebody else. That was a topical channel. There's another channel here. Oh, you know what? Let's watch this together. So, and as far as the topical channels, there's another channel I watch called Airtime Productions. He has like 1,000 subscribers. He was one of the very first people to, I guess, support this channel, and I guess I'm kind of giving him a shout out. Yeah, shout out to Airtime Productions. Yeah, he has very cinematic style like content. He does topical videos like Airtime Production, but his style is completely different. He has a very cinematic approach to his videos, and they're very high quality. So he recently just did a video, my top 10 favorite roller coasters in Florida, and yeah, we're gonna watch this one. We're gonna watch it. Give me a second. Let's switch it over. If you never heard of this guy, well, now you have.
This year, I rode so many new coasters. I switched around my rankings a lot, and I doubled my credit count. Most of my newest credits are in Florida. After experiencing most of the major theme parks and roller coasters, I will rank my top 10 favorite coasters in the state of Florida.
Nice. He has some really good projects. Kraken that I missed. Hold on, I gotta stop this. Why couldn't they just repaint that? The same color, just a brighter color paint. Why they had to change the colors of the supports and the track? Ugh. I don't like the sea green. I liked this. But you know what? I guess people just don't like change, period. Because I liked the colors. It makes sense. Same thing with Mon too. Like, I liked the tan supports. I don't like that gold shit they got. But, times change.
Number 10 is Tigress. This was the first coaster on my trip. I had never ridden a major Premier Rides coaster, so this was my first. It's quite the hike to get to this ride, especially if you want to ride it first. But that walk was worth it. I got one back row ride. I wasn't blown away or anything, nor disappointed. I think my expectations were met. The ride is fun. It has some airtime moments, and even has a moment of really good hang time. A lot of people like to complain about the restraints, but I didn't mind them at all.
Agreed.
I think I could have rode this thing all day if I had the time.
The only issue I had with the comfort collars were that barrel roll, like the hang time, because you do feel, at least for me, because of my size, you do feel it digging your shoulders just a little bit. But outside of that, it wasn't that bad either. I don't have an issue with them.
A few steps away is the king of all dive coasters, SheiKra.
Yes.
Valraven set my expectations for this ride. I had no idea what to expect for Valraven, but after riding it, I was a tad disappointed. It had a cool view and all, but the forces just weren't there. I was hoping SheiKra would make up for it that same year, and well, it did.
Nice.
I don't know if this was the restraints or the profiling, but I enjoyed SheiKra more. I got to ride it 3 times, and I have to say the back on the end seat is the best. Front row is good too, but I just preferred the back. I thought the drops were decently powerful, especially that mid-course drop, and the inversions were actually fun. Also, I think the splashdown might be the coolest thing ever. This ride may not be quite elite status, but I'll gladly hop in line again to ride this thing over and over.
Okay, I want to add on to what he's saying. I don't know what they were doing this past year as far as maintenance of this coaster, but SheiKra was running so freaking good. Like, oh my God. I know there's a lot of people that don't like dive coasters. They have an issue against it. I enjoy them. They are one-trick ponies. Yes, they are. They're very short coasters. Yes, they are. But they are great at what they do. At least SheiKra is. I had my ride. I rode the front and back row on my 2021 visit there, and both rows were great. And then the second drop is what got me, because usually on past rides, I wouldn't really feel that much, but my past visit, that second drop almost felt like the first drop. Like, it was insane. Like, this ride was running beautifully on my visit. That is a beautiful shot.
At 8 is Kraken. Now, just like SheiKra, Cedar Point was where I first experienced the floorless. Rougarou set my expectations for Kraken, so I thought I wasn't going to be blown away. But that ended up changing. Kraken was amazing. I got 2 back row rides. Every inversion was whippy and snappy, and that 0G roll was one of the best.
That second
It
loop
kind of
is
felt like the other 90s
that's
B&Ms,
one of my favorite
which I
inversions
absolutely
on this
love.
ride.
The industry keeps trying to beat the next. Each park doesn't just build something new without destroying all of the previous records. Roller coasters have been getting taller, faster, and longer. But does the size of roller coasters really matter to you? For me, it doesn't really. Maverick is the prime example. Only 105 feet tall, but beating out nearly every coaster in my rankings.
My example is Mind Blower at One Spot Kissimmee. Small ride, super intense. They just need to smooth it out a little bit. That'll be like a top coaster in Florida.
And Universal added a roller coaster that was no different. Hagrid's is an absolute masterpiece and just built around having fun. Have you ever ridden a roller coaster at night? It's hard to describe it. Well, it just feels different. And Mind Blower is the perfect example.
He's talking about it.
As
Wow.
someone who lives in the state of Wisconsin, I
Interesting.
get to appreciate some of Gravity Group's best work.
I have not seen this
86
video,
being
by the way. I didn't know he was
favorite
going to do
roller
that.
coaster of all time, and Zippin' Pippin being an airtime machine. Mind Blower feels like a mini Hades. It's got one of the best drops on a wooden roller coaster, and some relentless pacing.
Yep.
Some may complain about the ride's roughness, but I found it tolerable. If anything, I think it just adds to the ride. I rode it 3 times, and I still just couldn't get enough.
Actually, I'm impressed that he got some good night shots.
At number 5 is Kumba. I'd heard a lot of great things about this ride. I was super excited. The ride never had a wait, so I decided to lap it in the back row. These 1990s B&Ms are always a favorite of mine. There's something about the intensity and the forces. The ride focuses all on inversions. It doesn't have any airtime moments, and it doesn't need to. I think I was a bit disappointed by the Cobra Roll, but the Hell Roll was one of my favorite inversions. A lot of people
The
call
Hell
this
Roll?
ride overrated and rough. I understand why people say this,
I'm guessing
but
you
for
mean the
me,
0-0?
that's not the case. I absolutely love this ride. If I had the time, I would have rode and filmed Kumba all day.
Hmm.
Number 4 is Hulk. Surprisingly, these two rides feel the
I
same.
hate this ride.
The launch on Hulk definitely took me by surprise. Like, I didn't expect it to be as powerful as it was. Also, the first half probably features some of the most whippy inversions. You take them at such high speeds. Like, it doesn't feel like it should be allowed. If the second half was still as relentless as the first, I think this ride would have been ranked a lot higher on my overall list. But the soundtrack, theming, and ride intensity more than make up for it.
Okay, so my issue with the Hulk, at least my ride in December 2021, it was rough. It was headbanging. I couldn't enjoy the forces like I wanted to. I don't know if it's because of my size, or I don't know the row, because I sat in the back row the first time. It was rough as hell. Like, it was, my head was just banging the entire time. I couldn't really enjoy any of the forces. Like, the launch was good, the 0-0 was good, but I didn't really feel any intensity, in my opinion. Maybe because I was too focused on the roughness that I didn't really focus on the rest of the ride. But I didn't have a good time. And the funny thing is, the last time I rode the Hulk prior to that was in 2007. This was before they even tore it down. And it was much smoother back then. But it is what it is.
B&M inverted coasters get a lot of love in the industry. People call them B&M's best models. They call them intensity machines. and some people even have them close to their number one. Personally, none of them provided that feeling for me. I was disappointed by several of them. But Montu finally proved me wrong. Montu fixes everything with every other B&M invert. It was both forceful and smooth. The pacing was spot on too. Let's be honest, Batman the Ride would be perfect, but it's too short and a bit rough. And Raptor just feels like it has pacing issues in some spots. But Montu, I don't have a single problem with that ride. It incorporates the best elements of every invert and adds trenches and re-rideability. Plus, it's great to re-ride because for me, it didn't have a wait. I just can't wait to ride a B&M invert as good. B&M Hypers have always been a favorite of mine, and Mako was no exception. I was incredibly hyped for this ride. I mean, this was one of my bucket list coasters.
Were you disappointed?
Walking up to it, my jaw just dropped. Seeing it test over the water and hearing that amazing soundtrack was a feeling unparalleled by any coaster from any other park. I had a feeling this ride was already going to be special, and the Lift Hill was the best on-ride soundtrack I've ever experienced. But it leads up to an amazing drop. It feels like a tamed down version of the drop on Steel Vengeance. I mean, after all, they are the same height. However, the 5-second Camelback lived up to the hype, and I had high expectations too. It feels like the Camelback on Raging Bull, but stronger and way longer. Plus, the second one is almost just as good. It's pretty underrated. And speaking of underrated, I think the second half as a whole is.
You think so?
It gets overshadowed by the first half. People aren't giving that second half enough credit. I had heard a lot of great things about this ride. I'm just glad I enjoyed it as much as I did.
To be honest,
Before I reveal my number one, I want to say
hold on. To be honest, the second half is a little underwhelming compared to the first half. I mean, you got the airtime hill and you got the dips. I mean, it's still, I guess, a decent. It could have been way worse. It could have been like Intimidator and Carowind's ending, where it was just a drop. It's like a drop, a turn, and that's it. So yeah, I'll take it.
one thing. Unfortunately, several rides were closed for me. If they were open, I'm sure they would have made this list. These rides include Manta, Cheetah Hunt, Icebreaker, and most of all, Iron Gwazi. Hopefully, on a future visit, I could ride some of these as they all look really good. My list probably looks a lot different from yours. Everyone has ridden different coasters and everybody has different preferences. My list favors the rides I walked off blown away.
Pretty sure
It doesn't mean the rides that aren't on this list are bad. I've ridden Manta and Cheetah Hunt before, but it's been such a long time that I wouldn't know where to rank them on this list. Now, it's time for my number one on this list.
Of course, it's VelociCoaster.
I finally rode VelociCoaster. It was a last-second impulsive visit to Universal. It wasn't part of the trip at first, and I didn't expect to ride it. I always watch vlogs and footage when the ride first opened, but never expected to ride it this year. But I finally visited the park and got 3 rides. I rode it once in the front row and twice in the back row. I prefer the back, but every seat and ride was amazing. The ride gets better the more and more you ride it. Also, it contains my favorite drop on a coaster, but it's not by a long shot, because that first drop on the Other Blitz Maverick is amazing too. Back row offers some of the most powerful ejector air, and don't sleep on Raging Bull either. Sharp ejector from over 200 feet in the air. Also, Goliath and Steel Vengeance, which both have such strong sustained ejector. And don't sleep on Millennium Force. These are all good drops, but I think VelociCoaster gets the edge.
You think so?
I mean, it does have speed going into it, and the longer trains. I've done a separate review on that ride where I go in depth on each element, so check that video out. However, the inversions were the highlight of the ride. The initial implement provides unexpected ejector, and obviously the Mosasaurus roll is extremely forceful. This year was an amazing year for me. I'm hoping next year will be just as good, so subscribe with notifications turned on to be notified when I post all of my trips. Florida was definitely one of the highlights of the year. I gained tons of new credits, and my top 10 list switched around a lot. I highly recommend checking that video out if you haven't already. Here is a quick preview. Number 5 is Hades 360, another wooden roller coaster. This one is definitely a longer ride, and the best part is that pre-lift. Every hill delivers and its ejector.
Interesting list.
But
though.
don't sleep on the second
List.
half. It has an underrated first drop, the greatest underground sections, and even more airtime. I would agree, the pre-lift makes the ride, and so do the tunnels. However, the pacing is amazing too. It's easily the best paced wooden roller coaster, with Goliath being a close second. Yes, it is rough, and honestly the roughest roller coaster I've ridden.
Footage. I guess
But
that's
every
it.
other factor makes up for it.
Okay. All right. Yep. So that is top 10 coasters in Florida by Airtime Productions. Yeah, I thought that was a pretty good video. Pretty good video. If you never seen his video or seen his channel, there you go. So I advise you to subscribe to it. He has pretty good content. Let's see. I guess I can do one more video because I realize it's like almost an hour now, and I got things to do. So we're gonna look at one more video from this topical channel. Let me see. Okay. I'm pretty sure you heard of this channel called OkayCoasters. Yeah, there's one video that I have not watched from there, and we're going to watch it. It's called Great America, Incredibly Underrated. This is pretty much another cinematic style video, but apparently, like Airtime Productions and OkayCoasters, their approach is different. They're slightly,
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for the 8th wonder of the world.
All right, get it ready. All right, this will be the last video, and then I will wrap things up.
This past summer, I finally got a chance to visit Six Flags Great America, located just north of Chicago in Gurnee, Illinois. This park is one I'd wanted to visit for quite a few years. It all started when I saw Goliath. I think it was the first time I personally saw a proper stall. That orange topper track and the dive loop looked amazing too. But like most parks we research, those plans were put on a temporary hold, so I could get out to parks such as Cedar Point, Kings Island, and Hershey Park. I also had to ride Fury, and everyone was talking about El Toro, Voyage, and Lightning Rod. So naturally I had to make those trips happen too. Then in 2019, the park opened Max Force, a compressed air rocket of a coaster built by S&S. Growing up with King's Dominion as my home park and getting to ride Hypersonic more times than I could ever count, Max Force would now put Great America back near the top of my to-do list. So I finally planned that trip in 2021. This is a huge park that packs 15 coasters, so I made sure to schedule plenty of time for the full experience. And working behind my computer screen, I had built the perfect plan that just couldn't fail. Step 1, drive to the park. Step 2, ride coasters. Step 3, drive home. Easy enough, right? No, for real. Day 1, I'd drive to Camden Park and grab a quick ride on Big Dipper. Then I'd hit the road and finish up my drive to Kings Island, just in time for a night ride on the Beast and Orion, topped off with a great firework display. Day 2, I'd spend the entire day enjoying Kings Island and all this wonderful park has to offer. Day 3, drive to Indiana Beach and visit here for a few hours. Check out some coasters and eat those tacos everyone has told me all about, before heading to Great America for the second half of the day. Then days 4 and 5 would be all Great America. And finally day 6 was Kennywood. No, wait. When driving from Chicago to Pittsburgh, Cedar Point's literally 15 minutes out the way. So yeah, that's now mandatory too, which would leave day 7 for Kennywood, so I can finally ride Phantom's Revenge, see what all the jazz is about. I arrived at Great America an hour or so before close, and I headed straight for Goliath, that RMC creation I was so excited to ride for many years. And it was perfect. Even better, getting to the park so late made for a perfect sunset ride as my first on this beast of a coaster. And it was everything I'd hoped for. After that ride, I couldn't wait to spend days 4 and 5 at this park. So I went back to my hotel, and that's when things took a turn for the worst. Well, just great. Gonna storm on day 5 at Great America. Oh well, I'll just watch some old cartoons. Man, you see, the weather forecast showed not only storms for day 5 at Great America, but also storms for day 7 at Kennywood.
Oh, shit.
However, if I spent day 5 at Cedar Point and day 6 at Kennywood, it'd be great the entire trip. Problem solved. Now I need a perfect game plan in order to tackle Great America in just a single day. I'd wake up before everyone in Gurney that day, beat them all to the park, and be the first person of the day on max force. That'll save me a pile of time, and since I'm getting the first ride of the day, I should be in great position to beat the crowds to Raging Bull and X-Flight too. So I did just that, waiting at rope drop for max force, but I was told, yep, this ride's gonna be delayed. I saw it testing, so I decided to wait it out. 10 minutes later, I secured the first ride of the day. I headed towards Raging Bull, only to find it closed. Great, I'll head to X-Flight. Closed. Just my luck. At least American Eagle's running. So I booked it over to that coaster since it was a high priority on my list. After about a 12-mile walk through the queue line, I finally made it. So many people disliked this ride, but I found it to be a blast. It only ran one side, so I can only imagine how good it would be if it actually raced. Sure, that helix is ridiculous. It's so drawn out, so long, but the only thing I could do is laugh to myself. Like, what even is this? But that first drop was fantastic, and the surprise monster pop of air halfway towards the helix was everything. Made the entire ride worth it. And I'd just love to marathon this amazing coaster all day if I could. I know it's not for everyone, but I loved it. Raging Bull was back up, but now it had a super long line, and X-Flight was looking to be down all day. So I headed to experience some other machines. Wizard's one of the most unique coasters you'll find anywhere on the planet. It's the master of being great without having anything that's actually great. The ride starts off with an electric spiral lift hill, and from what I've been told, this lift hill had to spiral at a slight incline because any more of an angle and the motors wouldn't have been strong enough to make the pull up. It's mainly just some long drawn out straight shots paired with great turns and some very low to the ground moments. Just a fun coaster. It's very popular and it gets some pretty long lines, and the low height requirement make it especially popular for families with younger children. Not to mention it's one of the last of its kind in the world. This ride is a great piece of coaster history, and I hope the park keeps it running great for many years. I then headed over to V2. The wait was only around 30 minutes, and I'm a sucker for these inverted impulse coasters by Intamin. I always grab the very back seat. In my opinion, no other seat matters. Is it just me, or do these Intamins not have the best sounding launches of any coaster? I love them. I was right next to the original Batman invert, so of course I had to go check that one out. These are some of the very best inverts. They're really quick and they pack a real punch. Plus all the others were cloned from the original, so its placement in the park is tops of them all, though I couldn't get over that weird looking train design. Everyone raves about Viper and how good of a wood coaster that is, so I got in line for it. It was super long, and about halfway through the ride went down and everybody was leaving, so I just decided to leave too.
So I've got my essay written, and I've been working on it for about a week. So now I'm going to show you how I use Grammarly to edit.
Okay, next.
At this point, I still really needed to get Raging Bull, so I headed back over to it. But the line was nearly 3 hours long. Honestly, I think I picked the busiest day of the year to visit. The park was just slammed, and it didn't help that X-Flight was closed and Viper had just went down too. And I'm not real sure why, but I really wanted to ride that Aero Looper Demon. But that was down all day too, and I was told there was a 0 chance it was going to open. So I figured it'd be a good time to grab something to eat and just come up with a new plan. I decided to just go wait in a 30-minute line and grab my free skip the line pass that's included with my membership plan. I wanted to get it for Raging Bull, but I accidentally told him I wanted it for Goliath because I was thinking about the Hyper at Over Georgia. So I headed back over to Raging Bull where I was told I couldn't use it there. After explaining the situation and how I messed up, they understood and they worked with me to get my ride on Raging Bull. This coaster was really high on my to-do list because recently there had been a ton of noise in the community about how great of a moment of ejector that you can get on the very back row. Most stating it had the best drop of all B&M Hypers. And this must be no secret to people that regularly visit Great America because for the first time in my life, I saw the back row with a longer line than the front. Totally worth it, fantastic first drop. But even with that and the rare twister layout, I still didn't quite see it being better than some of the other inverts I've experienced. You see, even though I'm the first to call out these hypers for being extremely repetitive, I still prefer the long floater they deliver over the positives I got on Goliath. I mean Raging Bull. But even so, it was still a fantastic ride, and I really enjoyed the change of pace for this type of ride. After getting off Raging Bull, I got another pleasant surprise. X-Flight was finally open. The park had worked really hard all day to get it open. I thought that was wonderful to see. Just the fact they didn't give up and say, well, better luck tomorrow. I had enough time for one final long wait and ride. It was between this and Superman Ultimate Flight. And since I've been on rides just like Superman, it was a no-brainer. This ride would complete the wing coasters in America for me, and I always wanted to experience those back-to-back near misses through the flight tower. It was a phenomenal coaster from start to finish. I left Great America missing a few rides I was really excited to get during my visit. But even so, I still felt like I got a good feel for this park and all it has to offer. And honestly, I think it's got one of the most complete coaster collections you're going to find anywhere in the country. I mean, think about it. You have a B&M Hyper with Raging Bull, a Wing with X-Flight, Invert with Batman, and a Flyer with Superman Ultimate Flight. Most parks would love to have just one of the four. You got 2 launched coasters, 4 wood coasters including the legendary RMC and Goliath, a Racing Intamin build, Little Dipper, and Viper built by PTC and praised by many, an Aero Looper, Schwarzkopf, indoor coaster, and a 4D free spin. Oh yeah, and a Vekoma Junior coaster too. The collection is legit legendary status, not to mention the history this park boasts. Intamin's first major coaster, which broke tons of records when it opened, the very first B&M invert ever built with Batman, Whizzer, which is a special coaster and one of the last of its kind in existence. When Goliath opened, it set records for the longest and steepest first drop on a wood coaster, along with the fastest, and that replaced Iron Wolf, which was a historic coaster for being B&M's very first machine ever constructed. That coaster was used in the movie Richie Rich and has since been relocated to Six Flags America, where it recently received floorless trains and a new paint job. Little Dipper was built in 1950 and it closed in 2009. Great America wanted to save the coaster, so they purchased it and relocated it to their park so that people could continue to enjoy this great ride. I could go on and on about this great collection, but the fact of the matter is, Six Flags Great America is without question one of the best parks in America. So if you haven't got the chance to visit, don't make the mistake I made. Pencil it down and go experience this great park and all that it offers.
Wow. That was a good video. Good video. All right, so that was OkayCoasters. Why Six Flags Great America is incredibly is it underrated or overrated? Underrated. Why it's underrated. But I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all heard of OkayCoasters, but if you haven't, check his channel out. It's pretty legit. Pretty legit. All right, so let me see. How long have I been streaming? It has been an hour, 18 minutes. Yeah, I guess we can call it a wrap. I have things to do. And does it look like it's gonna rain today? I seriously hope not, because like I said, I got things to do. But I appreciate those who came by, to watch a little bit of my stream. For those who are watching, I guess the after the stream, I appreciate you for watching for as long as you have. And for those who are not subscribed, I definitely would like if you consider subscribing to my channel. It'd be nice to help me get to that 1,000. My goal for 2022 is to hit 1K sometime this year. I don't know if it's going to be during the summer, during the fall, during December 31st. My goal is to hit 1K. So if you're watching this, give a subscribe, let people know about who I am, about this channel, help a brother out. But anyway, I'm out of here, and I appreciate you for watching my kind of impromptu birthday live stream. Thank you very much, y'all, and y'all have a great day. See you later.